all this conversation about whether the Prime Minister should go, we should wait until the evidence is there. There's a little thing that bothers me every time we have this conversation called an adverse trace. You know, we never wait in the real world for somebody from Remo, Trenchtown, or Tivoli. Whenever the police decides upon their investigation that you have some connections or something is not right about you, they call it adverse trace. You've never been convicted and you've never been charged, but you're treated a particular way.
Bless up my people, welcome back to the channel. And in this one, my people, we're seeing where the National Integrity Action Director Daniel Archer and the Jamaica Accountability Meter Director Jeanette Calder basically was on an interview with the All Angles Dion Jackson Miller. I'm going to take clippings and clippings of this interview, my people, just to show the level of what is really going on with this IC report and this uncertified statutory declaration of the Prime Minister. And for many months, we're seeing the accountability meter and the National Integrity Action pressing the Prime Minister to sign even the code of conducts. You know, many interviews asking him if any of his cabinet are in this whole probe of illicit enrichment. And he said, no, my people, when he knew, many meetings with him and his lawyers and the Integrity Commission, and yet still the Prime Minister came out and told us a blatant lie. So I want to listen to these two ladies and them dissecting even a portion where the Prime Minister himself have been buying bonds, $94,000 worth of bond since 2019. And then in 2022, he's telling the Integrity Commission that he only pays $62,000 towards that 94,000 bond, and the 32,000 came from one of the business aligned to him. And the whole heap of rigmarole and all of that. And when I fully analyze even this aspect of it, my people, we see why the Integrity Commission took almost 3 years with his statutory declaration. Because this man, it seems, my people, was basically defiant in giving them certain critical information. And that is the reason why they had to get an international financial analyst to help them with the probe. And even with that person, for the 6 months, it looked like he was still withholding some crucial information. And this is the reason why they had to refer him and the whole situation to the FID and the TAJ.
Integrity Commission that this was paid for in two parts. One part funded by the Prime Minister, and which is about 61,000 US, and 32,000 US approximately funded by the charity. The Prime Minister disagreed and has indicated that NCB Capital Markets has made a mistake. He's saying, no. The charity hasn't contributed to it. It's just the 62 million. And I am responsible for that, and this is where I got the money. This is where the difficulty is, Dion. The report is indicating that the Prime Minister, by the way, the investment is a total of 94,000 US dollars. But the problem lies with the fact that the Integrity Commission is saying to the public and the Parliament, in the past, having made this investment since 2019, the Prime Minister would have included this in previous declarations. Remember, you have to declare what you owe, what you earn, and what you own. And this investment would have been considered ownership. So the Integrity Commission is saying to the Prime Minister, PM, you have declared the entire 94,000 US before in the past. How can you now say it's not yours? In addition to that, NCB, the Prime Minister, has indicated that the investment is a total of 94,000 US dollars. But the problem lies with the fact that the Integrity Commission is saying to the public and the Parliament, in the past, having made this investment since 2019, the Prime Minister would have included this in previous declarations. Remember, you have to declare what you owe, what you earn, and what you own. And this investment would have been considered ownership. So the Integrity Commission is saying to the Prime Minister, PM, you have declared the entire 94,000 US before in the past. How can you now say it's not yours? has indicated that they have acted on written instruction of the Prime Minister. They have also said to the Integrity Commission that we have statements that we have sent to the Prime Minister, which shows that he's getting statements reflecting what is happening to a 94,000 US investment that he has made. In addition to that, when that investment was cashed out in, I think, 2020, the proceeds, the entire 94,000 and whatever interest and whatever money was made on top of it, went back to the Prime Minister, to his company called Imperium, before it was reinvested. So the Integrity Commission is looking at all of that and saying, Prime Minister, the idea that NCB has made an error, you can't support that with any evidence. There's too much there. So these are just some of the things that the Integrity Commission is now saying, listen, not everything that you're telling us is adding up. So we're going to hand this over to the specialists who can go further than we can, which is the Financial Investigation Division.
I have seen an error in figures they have used in their calculations. And therefore, I challenge this finding on incorrect use of data. I reject the finding that I acquired an asset for which the source of funds is not adequately explained. The Commission, in its own report, pointed out that this whole episode started with an incorrect statement from a bank. It started with an incorrect statement from a bank. A bank gave a balance verification that I had funds in US dollars, which was incorrect.
Meka did me own a business or a company and not show no tax and see if TAJ no find way. Right? What is good for the goose must be good for the gander.
I'd only add to that, Dion, so that our listeners get a full picture of why it is I say we share concerns about the wealth of Dr. Holness. When you look at the comments made about the Burrito loan, which is what I'll describe it as, a loan of $50 million was acquired through Burrito Investments to a company that is wholly owned by Dr. Holness. Now, when you look at that, you question, and the report speaks to the fact that there is not adequate collateral for this loan. Yes? The regular person going for a $50 million loan is subjected to certain scrutiny. They're required to do certain things, and they concluded that this loan is unsecured. You now create a situation when you look at this that there is one rule for some and another for others. Yes? And when you do that, you are now questioning the integrity of the legislation that's being passed, and whether or not, when you look at even the opinion tendered in this report that speaks to the fact that you have companies where you're filing new reports for, but at the same time, there are transactions going that shows that there is money in them. So there's growth, there's monies, but you're not saying that they're earning. And a little man looking around the corner says, but look how me have to show and demonstrate, say, this are my earning. And even when I'm not earning, me and perhaps tax office in our argument over what we can't afford to pay. The problem I'm having with all of this, which is why it is such a sincere concern, is that it questions, unfortunately, the integrity of the chief leader of this country. And when you start to do that, we now have this question about the code of conduct. NRA has been talking about this code of conduct that speaks about honesty, and it identifies that you are to be transparent. And honestly, Dion, when I look through this report and I see that there are dates when the Prime Minister himself would have been aware of hearings being conducted, interviews being conducted, emails being sent to him, when he says he's asked wide and far, and there's nobody on that side, he has caused people to question whether or not there's this thing called illicit enrichment. You actually hear radio hosts asking about that, this thing called illicit enrichment, when in fact he would have been aware.
And just to add, my people, with the whole $50 million that Burrito had loaned to him, unsecured loan of $50 million, my people. And that is even against the law for them to lend him so much money unsecurely. And when me and you as a layman go in a bank or go in an institution trying to get a loan, the whole heap of rigmarole and the whole heap of ups and downs, the hills and valleys where we have to go through in order to get that loan, let alone an unsecured loan of so much money. Right? It's just the other day, me seen a lady do business from her house and was charged. Right? While we're seeing all of this going on and there has not been any charge toward the Prime Minister. But a lady probably I do a 9 to 5 and the 9 to 5 now cut it because the 15,000 a week now cut it none at all for some people or for majority of the people. And so if you want get a next stream of income by running a small business from the comfort of your home, you get penalized, you get charged for that. Eh? When in this day and age we are things sky high, the 9 to 5 alone can't cut it for majority away, and we have to do one little side hustle. And all when you do it from the comfort of your home, you still get charged.
For months, and I sat down and I looked at the dates. For months we were at that point where we said nobody knew if they were being investigated. The Integrity Commission didn't send a letter. I don't know. Nobody has said anything to me. When you look at this report, the initial communication was September 30, 2022 regarding the omissions in the 2021 statutory declaration. There were follow-up requests to provide additional information and corrections. February 23, 2023, March 6, 2023, March 12, 2023, April 4, 2023. He was interviewed on January 12, 2023. Further meetings and interviews were had, and a significant meeting was had on the 31st of August, 2023. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023. I'm going to make sure I write them down because we don't want to make no error. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023, informing him of the referral received for investigations regarding his 2021 statutory declarations, and the referral raised concerns about potential illicit enrichment and other issues. So here is the problem. Even if we're not concerned about the veracity, the truth in these documents, I am concerned that my leader, Dr. Andrew Holness, did not tell me as a voter, as an individual, as a citizen, that he knew that he was being questioned. All this time we were operating under the pretext that this was a dopey thing. Nobody know nothing about it. Now, when you look at this report, and this is when you want to ask for facts, if you don't think the money is important, the honesty, the truth is important, because you made me feel that nothing never goes so. And if you have interviews, you have emails, you have meetings, and a one-on-one thing. One of the meetings were held at his office. So tell me, Dion, as a Jamaican, even if I don't believe that the Barita people them said the thing right or the bond thing not right, and I adequately earn my money, why would you not tell me that you knew that you were being questioned?
What can go so?
You know, all this conversation about whether the Prime Minister should go, we should wait until the evidence is there. There's a little thing that bothers me every time we have this conversation called an adverse trace. You know, we never wait in the real world for somebody from Rema, Trenchtown or Tivoli. Whenever the police decides upon their investigation that you have some connections or something is not right about you, they call it adverse trace. You've never been convicted and you've never been charged, but you're treated a particular way. There is no reason why those who are above that address should have the escape route that says, let me wait until I get a charge or a conviction.
I have 30 seconds, but I had a listener when we were talking earlier on radio who said, isn't Daniel a lawyer? It doesn't sound like she believes in the presumption of innocence.
It's not a question of the presumption of innocence. It's a question of your integrity and your honesty when you're a leader. There are certain principles that you are to ascribe by, and this is not requiring an adjudication by a judge. It goes according to the basic tenets of public service. This is what you call a code that says where you have income that is far above your lawful income, you must explain it. That has nothing to do with the judiciary.
What can go so?
And for that part, I totally agree with her on that. When are we going to level the playing field? When the law is going to work for everybody and not just for some people, right? A layman down in the Trenchtown area would have been charged already because there are circumstantial evidence to show, because if you cannot give an account for where all these monies are coming from, then it means that you are in folly. Something is not right, and if you're preventing and withholding information from the body, that is the anti-corruption body, then it tells that you have something going on. And so if they cannot get those information from you, then they have to refer you to the bigger heads then, where you will have to hand over that information, because I'm going to have to give the FID this information, my people. What more evidence are they waiting on? What more evidence are they waiting on? The law is not supposed to work for only me and my neighbor. The law for work for even the powers that be. No one is above the law. And so we're seeing Julian Robinson, the spokesperson on finance, chiming in as well, my people. And here's one of the main reasons why the Prime Minister needs to step away.
The first is that there's a total breakdown of trust in the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was asked publicly if he was aware of any member of the Jamaica Labour Party that was under investigation for illicit enrichment. His answer was that he asked far and wide, and nobody indicated so. What we found out yesterday in the report is that from May 2023, he was written to formally by the Integrity Commission to indicate that he was under investigation for illicit enrichment. Further, from the chronology of events, he has been in touch, his lawyers have been in touch with the Integrity Commission in relation to the said investigation. So when he says to the public he has asked far and wide and he doesn't know, he misled the public. So the question I have, what can I believe the Prime Minister on tomorrow, the next day or next week? I can't take his word as Prime Minister. That's the first reason. The second reason, the Integrity Commission has said they have gone as far as they can, but they can't draw a conclusion in relation to illicit enrichment. Why? Because some of the information they need, the Prime Minister did not provide. They have then said they're going to refer to the Financial Investigations Division, which deals with the investigation of financial crimes. So they obviously believe that based on all the information, they used an international forensic accountant to assist them. They believe it rises to that level because the FID only deals with financial crimes. Now, you've gone 3 years without certification. After an investigation where you have not provided the information for the Integrity Commission to conclude, the Integrity Commission said, I'm going to refer you to the FID. We must have a Prime Minister who remains under this cloud without resolution for this period.
Just before I go to Marlon Morgan on that point, though, because again, aren't you getting ahead of yourself?
Not at all.
Because you're saying
not at all.
The referral is, you seem to be coming to the conclusion that financial crime is involved. The reality is that the investigation was about illicit enrichment, and to bring it to a close.
But the reason they can't close it is because he hasn't provided the information they have asked.
That's not the only reason. The director specifically said that due to remit and lack of resources of his office.
And he also said in relation to expenses that they would want to determine whether his income is commensurate with it, that he didn't provide the information.
What can go so?
There you have it, my people. The hard truth, dissecting some of the Integrity Commission's report findings on the Prime Minister. My people, when you listen for yourself, be your own judge. Tell me what y'all got from this. Drop on the comments in the comment section and let us reason. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Run Gov't to my other platform, Facebook and TikTok. Follow me over there at Anisabel Rose. Like up the videos, share out the videos. Get this video to at least 4,000 likes. Stay tuned for more updates. Stay tuned for more videos. I will be going live at around 11 a.m. to stream the press conference from the People's National Party, Opposition Leader Mark Golding, Dayton Campbell Jensek, Donna Scott Motley, Senator, as well as Katie Knight. Stay tuned for that, my people. Big up on yourself.